I'm ready to talk some wrestling. What's going on, everybody? We've got kind of a small house right now, but everybody should be here eventually. It is Thursday night. Holy hell, we had a. I personally, I think Dynamite just won the Wednesday Night War. It is over. Raw Smackdown happened. Guess what? Kevin Owens is going to take on Roman, and we have AJ Styles taking on Drew McIntyre at the pay-per-views. That covers that. Let's talk about Wednesday night, shall we? We're going to start off with NXT. What we're going to do is we'll talk about what happened Wednesday night. Not a whole lot happened. There was some ups and downs. And then we're going to break down the War Games pay-per-view real quick. And then we're going to talk about what we all want to talk about. Winter has come. In the words of Tony Schiavone, it's Sting! I can't do it right, and I don't care if you don't like it. There's a finger. So let's check this out, shall we? Opening match over there. First, we had a tribute to Pat Patterson, who recently passed away. Everybody here at Suplex City sends all the love to him and his family, and thanks for everything he's done. Wrestling would be the same without him.
Yep, first Intercontinental Champion. He created the Royal Rumble. Yeah, that dude's done some big things.
The best finish guy in the business. And at the end of the video tribute, I'm not gonna lie, I had some tears, just because he's touched so many people in their hearts and in their minds with knowledge and passion. You know,
well, I just touched somebody somewhere else.
Yeah, well, dude, he had the same partner for over 40 years. So
and that's really cool. By
the
way,
I'm sure he touched him a lot.
He is also the oldest reigning champion in WWE when he won the 24/7 title a couple of months, about a year back. Just pointing that out. So
I'm sorry, I have to correct you. He's second most winningest, I believe. Vince, gotta love Vince. Vince held the ECW title when he was 61, bro. Pat was 59.
No, when Pat won the 24/7 title, he was 76.
Huh?
He rolled up R-Truth about it at SmackDown 1000.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either. That's
Anyways, so in this NXT, we found out who the women's face War Games team is going to be. It's going to be Shotzi Blackheart, Ember Moon, Rhea Ripley, and Io Shirai. Gee, is that a shocker to anybody?
No, it wasn't a shock.
Didn't shock me either.
Alrighty then.
We knew
kicking off the night, we had Damian Priest and Leo Ruff taking on Raul Mendoza and Santos Escobar and Legado del Fantasma. It was kind of one of those, matches where the big guy kind of does the work. But Leo Ruff actually looked pretty good. I mean, he hit that frog splash at the end we were talking about off screen, where he actually clapped his hands. It was pretty good. JB3, never mind, since you're a little busy. Ryan, what did you think of this opening? Okay, JB3, what'd you think of this opening?
I'll be short and sweet, y'all. Just like that hit. Leon Ruff, he got to show a lot. They advanced the story. There's two things that I'm interested in that are not my coughs. One, they built up the match. I want to see Leon do more stuff. I do not want to see him as. I know he started out as the guy who got lucky. I don't want him to continue. I want him to be able to show his skill. He's already showed that he has heart and he can like smack people in the face. That kind of stuff. So he shows some fire in him. The other thing is the scream masks. They're interesting to me. It's an old thing in wrestling. You put a mask on somebody and people are like, ooh, who is it? They got me. I want to know who's in all the scream masks. So that's basically the two things that I've taken out of the match, besides the match being pretty decent. But I can't lie. As far as my energy level goes, it's all going to be pushed to the end of the show.
Well, we're going to get there, so let's go through it. Villain, you got anything you want to touch on?
Giggity.
Yeah, I mean, they fought other cruiserweights. I mean, Damian was the biggest guy in the match. All those guys are pretty much cruiserweights, even Rough. I mean, they all do the basic shit. No, there's nothing else to talk about. It was whatever.
All right. And Ryan, what you got?
It's a good match, honestly. Johnny I think he worked well on commentary. Of course, being his heelish character, and I like the fact that the whole the ghost-based characters, the masked men that were introduced during Halloween Havoc for Johnny and Candice, it's not over. Sure, it was obvious that Indy Hartwell was helping Candice as the masked person, but at least with Johnny, it's showing that it's pretty much detailing that Johnny, he's gonna be very opportunistic. He's gonna do whatever it takes to win the North American Championship at War Games, and I like that. And with Leon Ruff, he is showing very good enthusiasm, and I like with Damian Priest. He's not trying to overlook him, but at the same time, he doesn't really value him as a competitor.
All right. Next up, we had Austin Gray taking on, as JB3 would say, Cameron Grimes. This was no more than a squash match, but all it was to further the story between Dexter Lumis and him. It is what it was. It just kind of furthered their story going into War Games, gave Grimes a little bit of momentum. Anybody else want to touch that?
Yeah, it accomplished what it needed to accomplish. I'm glad it didn't take up too much time. It's not going to take up too much more time here.
There you go. Ryan?
No, it's quick squash match. It was just another build up for the rivalry with Loomis. Of course, Austin Gray. Yeah, that's really original from his indie name, Austin, from Anthony Green. So,
All right, villain.
No, it built for the pay-per-view. That's all it was used for. That's it.
All right. We had Jake Atlas taking on Tony Nese next. This was a fun match between the two of them. You know, they had their high-flying spots, little bit of technical wrestling, but lots of hits. And you know that Tony Nese or Jake Atlas's cartwheel DDT thing. That is so fucking cool. Like, it looks so dope. That's all I gotta say about it. Ryan, go ahead.
I really wasn't paying attention for this match, honestly.
That's fair.
The only thing I really paid attention to was the promo at the end. And I kind of came to a conclusion with Jake Atlas, guys.
Yeah.
Jake Atlas is getting NXT alumni's normal main roster push in NXT. Basically, he's getting almost like buried. It seems like he does something good one week and then takes the pin the next week. And then he wins the next week and then he gets shit on the next week. And then he gets kidnapped the next week and then it's weird. I like Jake Atlas. The dude's cutting fire promos. You can tell he's got a lot of passion.
Yeah,
but as far as the match, I'm kind of with Ryan. I didn't really pay too much attention to the match itself. I'm not going to hate on any of the competitors. I just wasn't really into Tony Nese and Jake Atlas. And as far as the finish goes, that's a great finish, but it sucks to me that he has to set it up in only one very specific way.
Yeah.
But
that's
the only flaw for me.
But it looks
However,
cool.
hold on. However, side note, when he did it off the announce table that one time, that was cool.
I do agree. That's one thing I do agree. That spot was good, but yeah, same thoughts as JV3. I mean, the promo was great. It's just with Jake Atlas from where they were setting him up for the Cruiserweight tournament. Then he gets into his back and forth feud with El Phantasmo. Then he's just used as squash material for Ciampa, and now they want to build him back up again. It's the point where they're just throwing him back and forth, keep putting him into the meat grinder. And unfortunately, Tony Nese, he's stuck on 205 Live. That's the ceiling they put him in. There's no way he's getting out of that.
Well, you know, it is what it is. Villain, what you got in mind?
Yeah, it was a good match. Both these guys could wrestle. I mean, both of them are cruiserweights. that's pretty much going to be their ceilings for a while now. I mean, Tony Nese has been with that company for a couple of years now, and he's never going to advance. At least Jake seems like, maybe they're going to give him a little push. It's been kind of stop and start with him, but, maybe they'll do something with him. It's just, most of that roster is cruiserweight people. So, I mean, they're all going to do the same shit. So it is what it is.
All righty. Let's move on then.
Yeah.
We have the Grizzly Young Vets taking on Imperium. This match was just too long. There was sloppy spots in it. These two, I don't know. It felt really weird. And then it ended where Everrise just comes out and fucking screws it up.
And Everrise, man.
This gentleman, in my opinion, goes to our. I'm gonna pull up my call on this. Trash.
I didn't watch this match. I didn't watch it at all, but I do got to comment on Everrise. I'm not a fan, and I think that they will never rise up the ladder.
Damn. Mr. Carmel Mountain.
Yeah, I think with Everrise, they're kind of like in that position of elevated talent. They're not going to be considered as big team threats. It's like when NXT still had the crowds, they had this group, the Ely brothers. Yeah, two twin brothers, as a tag team, but they were always used for getting squashed, or they were just there for the next incoming team to look better. I think that's important. That's Everrise's position. I mean, I really, it's like 10% chance that they'll actually be a big tag team. But until then, until they rebuild that division, we're going to be seeing more of them.
Okay. Villain, what you got?
Trash.
All right. That's my man. Let's move on to the main event. We had Shotzi Blackheart taking on Raquel Rodriguez. Winner gets the War Games advantage. This was a hard-hitting match. You know me, I like a good ladder match. It is what it is. Shotzi Blackheart got the win, so the faces get the advantage going into War Games. If y'all want to break it down, go right ahead. Because I don't care. I want to get onto the day. I want to get through NXT.
I didn't watch this match yet, but I think her last name is Gonzalez. I think.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Raquel Gonzalez. Yeah, that's her last
my
name.
bad. Hey, you're right. My bad.
I didn't see it though. I can't comment. I really didn't. I missed it.
Okay, Ryan.
I was in and out. I was in and out during that match. I had it play on in the background, but look, I give compliments to commentary whenever they try to make a match engaging. And at this point, I think the banter between Wade Barrett and Vic Joseph, it worked in some spots and it didn't work in others. Look, it was Shotzi and Raquel. They've had a rivalry evolve, so I knew I wasn't going to be disappointed with the two of them, and it clearly showed that they have good chemistry together. But I think when it comes with ladder spots, I really don't want to put that much faith in Shotzi. I mean, she knows how to handle bumps, but I'm not going to say Raquel is a stiff or frozen in the ring, though. But it's clear with her size and stature, we don't see exactly how athletic she can get just yet. But this is just me going off of 2 Evolve matches I've seen her in and how they booked her in NXT so far. Maybe there is more to Raquel where we may see at War Games, but for right now, the advantage being given to the face team. And it didn't shock me that Io Shirai was the added person, especially after they had jumped her the previous week and tossed later out on the ground during Rhea Ripley's address to the NXT universe. So it wasn't that hard to put 2 and 2 together.
Nope. All right. Villain, you got anything else you want to add?
Yeah, it was a good match. It was interesting to have a lot of match with these 2 women. But, the women are trying, and they had a good match. The right person won, in my opinion. They had a good moment with all the faces that are going to be in the team out there. So I thought it was cool,
All right. All right, guys.
Hold Hold on. I do want to say one thing.
One thing. Okay.
Just to close off NXT, because I didn't watch the main event. And I could say that one of the biggest reasons was because of what we're about to talk about. Winter is coming. But, which, but a lot of it, too, for me, and this might have been the second year in a row that they've done this, and I'm just going to go ahead and assume that NXT books their shows not thinking about AEW, which we know they probably do, but let's just say that they don't.
Okay.
I would have much rather have seen those two ladder matches in one episode of NXT versus seeing an episode in NXT with a main event being a ladder match with the same stipulations as the following week having a main event with the ladder match having the same stipulations. To me, it was almost like a repeat. I get it. It made sense with the story because one was the men's and one was the females, but it was still a ladder match. And Kyle O'Reilly, I mean, let me ask you guys a quick honest opinion because I didn't watch the match. Was Kyle O'Reilly and Pete Dunne's ladder match better than the one you saw last night?
Yeah.
I have to recall that, honestly.
Yes.
Because I loved
it was a good bet. It was a really good back and forth fight. It's just like with this one, this is the moment the ladder came in play. I don't know. I mean, I guess
so
the way how they try to use the ladder.
It almost would seem like, that could have went after. But regardless of anything, that might be another reason for me that I was not that interested this week because I was like, I just seen this. And I get it. It's not it's different. It's the females, but WWE has a really bad issue of doing like, here's our guys, and here's our girls. They're doing the same exact thing, but it's different because they're guys and they're girls. Yeah. But that's all I got to say about that. I just wanted to throw that out there. That was my take because I didn't say nothing about that.
No, I mean it's a good example.
They're playing out the ladder matches. They're playing out the ladder matches.
All right, so quickly we're going to run through the War Games card real quick. I will send out another Google Doc like I did last time just so it's easier to keep track. All right, so first on the card, we have Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa. This is going to be a hell of a hard-hitting match. We all know that they both like to work stiff. I think Ciampa should win. I don't really care if he does or doesn't. JB3, what you got on your mind?
We're doing predictions, right?
Yeah, just.
Yes, sir.
We're not going to go into detail. Let's just who you think is going to
win. I don't got much to say anyway. That's a toughie. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to give it to Ciampa just because I've already seen them have Thatcher lose so many times that I know that they don't have a problem with him losing. So I'm going to give it to Ciampa.
All right, Payne?
I'm going to go with Ciampa too because right now it's Thatch. It's not going to hurt him, honestly. Yeah, every time he puts on a match, whether he wins or loses, it's always a good show out for him. And I think NXT loves this idea of his wrestling academy, so him losing is not going to hurt him. And also, I believe that Ciampa with this win is going to elevate him to go to what I think is going to be him versus Balor.
I think that's too soon, but okay. Villain, what you got?
Yeah.
I got Thatcher winning.
All right. Now we have Dexter Lumis taking on Cameron Grimes in a strap match. Dexter Lumis, this just seems like it's right up his alley, right in your face, hard hitting. I mean, in my opinion, the Fiend's best match was in a strap match with Daniel Bryan, so, they can hopefully they get that strap into play. They're both pretty, white boys, so them marks will come up pretty good. Villain, who you got?
In a strap match, I'm going with Grimes.
All right.
Same.
Okay, Ryan.
He might. Yeah. He's gonna go straight to the moon.
Or straight to the hot. To the sideboard.
Yeah. I'm back and forth on this one actually. Right now, I might go with Dexter Lumis, but it wouldn't surprise me if tomorrow I'm on the side of Cameron Grimes or Cameron Grimes. But right now, I'm going to go with Dexter Lumis. Mainly Mainly because I think both of these two, they're going to be pushed into another rivalry or they're going to be moving into a title picture. Either one of these guys. That's my guess.
All right. So next we got the North American Championship. Leon Ruff, Gargano, and Damian Priest. I think Leon Ruff pulls this one out. Just they've strapped a rocket to this man's back, and I just don't see why they would let it go. Ryan, who you got? And why?
Well, it's a good thing Dose is not here, but I'm going to give mine to of course, who else am I going to give it to? Gargano. Not because of the constant reasons I've listed down, but his heel run right now and the use of these masked men do point that he's going, once again, he's going to be the opportunistic heel. He's going to play the odds that's going to work in his favor. Sure, it didn't help him when he tried to get an easy win over Leon Ruff that led to him losing the title, but I think this time it's going to show Gargano as a more strategic and ruthless heel.
Okay. JB3?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind Ruff winning. It's probably what I want to happen because I do want to see them like continue the story that they're doing with Ruff, and then they can build the story between Gargano and Priest more, which could say has run its course, but whatever. I'm gonna go ahead though, and I'm gonna have to give it to Johnny officially. The only thing is those Ghostface masks. I want them to strap it, onto Leon, but I think he had his moment. He's going to lose it, and it will be kind of shenanigans. But I think the ghost spaces will probably have something to do with that. That's the one thing that's got me interested is those people, whoever's in that mask, because that's how he won last time. And now there was one there. He has two now. So it'll take two this time. He'll win. And then he'll be a 3-time champion, and then they'll play it off. He's going to defend it against Priest and the curse. They're playing off the curse, on the wheel. By the way, on the KO show when he threw that chair out of the ring and he broke one of the wheels, someone mentioned that he really hates wheels, and he whatever it was like the accuracy. He was like, I do hate wheels. He broke a wheel. He hates wheels. Oh,
that's why I'm old Johnny. That's why I'm old Johnny.
What's up?
Who you got?
What you got, man?
It's on me.
Yes,
yeah.
It's on you.
I got Johnny winning this. I think Ruff is going to turn heel. I think he's going to be the Virgil to Johnny's $1 Million Man.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Look at that.
I like that theory. I like that.
Different. It ain't different. It's but I like that.
I do too.
It could work out.
All right, guys. So next up, we got the first of the two War Games matches. We got the Undisputed Era taking on Pat McAfee's boys. Just Pat McAfee's crew is on a run, and I just don't see him losing that. So I'm gonna go McAfee with this one. JB3, who are you running with?
I can't. Maybe the only way is if they do some split. I don't know, which I wouldn't want, and I don't think they'll do. That'd be. I don't know. You know how people feel. I'll say this: I'm pretty sure Undisputed Era lost the last two. They won the first one.
There's only two so far. Undisputed won the first. They lost the second.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
this is their third. This is their third War Games, guys. This is their third one.
It's their third one.
Yeah, because the first one it was Undisputed versus the War Raiders, Ricochet, and Pete Dunne. And then the second one was Ciampa. What?
No, the first one was AOP and Roddy versus Undisputed Era versus 3 other guys.
Oh yeah, that's right. War Raiders, Ricochet, AOP, and Roddy versus Undisputed Era, but Undisputed still won that one.
Yeah, that was the first one.
It was the 8-man with Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, Dominik Dijakovic, and Kevin Owens, which Ciampa's team won.
Okay, I thought they were. I
think the UE is going to take it.
Okay, then. Villain, who you got? UE or Pat McAfee's boys?
I'm going with the UE. I think since they lost last year, I think they're going to bounce back. Unless some weird shit happens where one of them turns and leaves
No.
undisputed and join the Pats pack, I'm going to go with UE.
And then Ryan, you're taking UE, correct?
You assume right. I am going UE. It's mainly because of the fuzzy start they had with Cole and McAfee's little start rivalry that led to TakeOver 30, to where we couldn't tell, was Adam Cole a face or was he just a less heel? So this time, since it's official that all Undisputed Era are faces, and Pat is definitely the heel with his group, I think UE's going to win. But I still think that Pat's group is going to get a one-up after. Like, once the pin is over, Pat's going to reveal another trick up his sleeve. It's a way to make sure that Pat is no longer going to be involved in the matches, but he's still going to be a figure in the group.
Okay. And last up, we have the women's War Games. Team Shotzi, which is Shotzi Blackheart, Ember Moon, Rhea Ripley, taking on Io Shirai versus Team Candice, which is Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, and Toni Storm. I'm gonna let Ryan go first because I'm still deciding this one.
I'm back and forth too. I love Toni Storm. I love Toni Storm and the outfit that she had on. The NXT. She upped the fact. She made this even harder to decide, pun intended. But
Giggity.
Carmel Mountain.
Yeah, I guess if I really have to put a choice right now on the stream live right now, I'm going with Rhea's team for two reasons. One,
Yeah,
every woman on the face team have a score to settle with all the women on the heel team. And you can interchange it too, and it's because they all have a score to settle. We're going to see a lot of collusion with the women. I mean, at least with Shotzi's team. And I have no doubt in my mind we're going to see dominance from Candice's team, especially from Raquel Gonzalez, who I think is going to be the highlight of her team, and Shotzi's going to be the highlight of her team as well. Those are the two I'm putting as the standouts of that match. Io Shirai, she's going to be fantastic, but I think Io's going to do one of the high spots, but it's going to be Shotzi and Raquel who's going to be the MVPs of that match. But I'm still going to go with Shotzi's team because there's the story feels it's more behind Shotzi and their team because they all have something to prove. Shotzi, of course, when they botched that personal story with her in the tank. Rhea, who's trying to decide where she goes from here. And, of course, with Ember Moon and Io, even though they want to show dominance, it's still going to be a more collusive team.
All righty.
So I got two predictions, and it might be controversial, but I think might be where they're going to go. And I think this is going to be a reward for all the improvement. And I think this is also one of the reasons that she got on the mic. So I think that the heel team, Candice's team, is going to take the win. And I think that they are going to take the win by Io Shirai getting pinned by Raquel Gonzalez.
Ooh.
Therefore, giving Raquel Gonzalez a title shot. And I think that's the reason that she's been getting a little bit of more shine on the mic. They're going to build it up. And I think that they're going to give Raquel Gonzalez a pinfall win over Io Shirai in War Games. And it can be shenanigans. It don't matter what happens or how it happens. It could be clean, whatever. But that's what I think is going to happen. And it's going to set up the next match for Io, which I think would be good.
All right, Villain, what you thinking?
I am going with team Candice. Candice's team. The heel team is going to win, and I think Ember Moon is going to turn at the very end of the match, and she's going to cost her team. I think she's going to hit Io and then let the villains, one of the bad girls, score the pinfall, and I think she's going to turn heel, and I think that's going to put more pressure on Io having more challengers.
I like that. I think after hearing y'all, I'm going to go with the heel team as well. Just because, you never know. All right, guys, let's talk about it, shall we? Winter has come. And we're going to open it up with the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royale. And we had, as contestants, we had, just a second, I lost where I had it highlighted. We had Miro, Hangman Page, John Silver, Scorpio Sky, Sean Spears, Mark Quinn, Isaiah Cassidy, Kip Sabian, Matt Sydal, Serpentico, Jungle Boy, Luther, Alex Reynolds, Orange Cassidy, Matt Hardy, Sammy Guevara, Joey Janela, Lee Johnson, MJF, and Wardlow. I like the way they started this. Everybody's on the outside of the ring. You rush in, you fight. Miro looked like a goddamn beast, and he in my opinion was a shining star of that whole battle royale. He was eliminating people left and right. Took Orange Cassidy out, which kind of set up the finish. We got MJF and Orange Cassidy next week, which in my opinion could be a hell of a match if they actually Orange Cassidy gives a fucking wrestles. Ryan, what are you thinking?
This has to be the more. This was the more. I actually liked this Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal than the last one, than their first one. Honestly, I think mainly because they were, even though the Dynamite Diamond, it was kind of like a very weird concept for everyone to follow, especially, they win the battle royal and they get a ring. Like, it's not going to propel them. But I think with MJF, the slow subtlety he's used that Diamond for to win his matches, I think it's kind of helped add some, actually some stakes for this battle royal. So when I saw Miro just dominating things from left and right, and of course with the some of the storylines that the rivalries that still happen with Scorpio and Sean Spears, how when Scorpio eliminated Spears, Tully gets Sean that loaded glove to knock out Scorpio to get him eliminated, to remind everybody that rivalry is not over. The thread storyline from BTE with Adam Page and the Dark Order assisting him, even helping him throughout the match, is definitely a big teaser for where Adam Page is going to go. I mean, for right now. And then, of course, look, Orange Cassidy's. I'm loving this idea of a wrestler who doesn't try to wrestle, but when he does, he's very good. And even like the little small collusion with MJF, Sammy Guevara, and Wardlow, how they spent most of their time outside or in the corner picking their moments to attack. So then when the numbers got down, you started to see MJF, Sammy, and Wardlow dominate. And Jungle Boy and Sammy, god damn, that play on the outside of them, walking that thread line, doing flips, somersaults over each other. As much as I don't mind MJF and Sammy and Orange Cassidy being the last two, I would have preferred these two to be the last ones.
Okay. Villain, how'd you think of this battle royale?
It was very entertaining. The Mountain hit a lot of good points. But my two highlights, was Miro. The only thing I was disappointed was at the very end of the match, Miro tried to beat up the best friends instead of trying to beat up the inner circle. Like, he was fucking the inner circle up, and then they jumped him. Like, he should be going, like, that clothesline that fucking Wardlow hit him with, like, and Miro was just beating the shit out of people. But man, the outside moves that Ryan hit on, dude, Jungle Boy and Sammy Guevara, I've never seen no shit like that on the outside of the ring, on the apron, the hardest part of the ring. I've never seen nothing like that in WWE. As long as they've been around for 60 years or 75 years, whatever the fuck they've been around, that shit was bananas. That shit was awesome. The winner, it's whatever. MJF, Orange Cassidy. I was high on Orange Cassidy. Now I'm kind of like, but we got to see what happens next week. But yeah, it is what it is.
All right. So
one more thing. Hold on, I want to touch on one more thing that I can't believe nobody so far. I think we're getting ready to see a Matt Hardy heel turn. I think we're going to get ready to see a Matt Hardy heel turn.
It might already happen.
I don't think Hardy's a heel. I think he's leaning more. His character's leaning more into the
son of a bitch, man.
I think he's making himself a parody of Vince McMahon, like a better parody than Brody Lee was supposed to have when he started. I mean,
go ahead, JB3.
That's just me.
It's all good. I got something brewing because All right, so Ryan, he talked about his points of the match. Villain talked about his points of the match. The match was fine. Well, the match was great. It was good. It was a good, but I have problems. I got to fix it. JB3 is going to fix this match. Okay, now I've got to change a few things. First off, it's the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal. Honestly, I don't think MJF should have been in that match. He has the ring. I think that should have been a regular Battle Royal. And I think that the winner of the Battle Royal should have went to face MJF for the ring. Therefore, MJF cut the promos talking about how he's Dynamite Diamond. Now, he could have had the same deal going out. They still could have had Wardlow protecting Sammy. Okay, still could have had all the animosity there. Still could have had all the stuff outside with Jungle Boy, but it's a little bit different this time. All the stuff Miro stays the same. Everything could stay the same. Just have, I don't know, somebody else in there to get, instead of MJF to get thrown out. Now, check this out. So, Wardlow's protecting Sammy, right? Orange Cassidy gets laid out,
MJF.
right? Yeah.
He
Well,
was protecting
MJF
both, actually. He was protecting both,
Yeah,
because
well, this is my version. In my version, MJF's not in the match. Okay, so in my version,
Oh, okay.
is
You're
he's
looking.
he's just protecting Sammy. That's what I would have done. Everything can stay the same there. Jungle Boy's back. He's doing his thing. They still have their deal on the outside. Instead of MJF throwing them out, MJF instructs Wardlow to throw them out. Therefore, Sammy can still be pissed off, but he knows that MJF made Wardlow do it, so that stays the same. And then Orange Cassidy doesn't, hit a bunch of punches because that's just, I'm sorry, it's fucking Wardlow. So when Wardlow does that, Orange Cassidy, being outside that he was, sneaks in, dumps him. He wins. You got the same match. That's all I'm saying. I fixed it. I'm sorry. That's the only problem I had with it, is just like just a few little things that bothered me.
Alrighty, that works. All right, gentlemen. Next up, I hate to say it, but in my opinion, the worst match of the night, Frankie Kazarian and Chris Jericho. This match was sloppy. I'm sorry. There was just, I don't even want to talk about it. Go ahead, JB3. This match was just garbage.
I was actually chatting with Nico a little bit about this match, and I agreed with him. I was too distracted with all the stuff that was going on outside of the ring to really even care about what's happening inside of the ring. And I've talked about Jericho before, and about, I love Jericho. He's a legend. I'm not going to say anything about Jericho. Jericho's my fourth on the Mount Rushmore. Okay, on my personal Mount Rushmore wrestling, Jericho made my fourth spot. So I got nothing bad to say about Jericho. However, yeah, I think that it might be getting close to time. I don't know yet. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I mean, they're both great workers, but there's just, Shawn Michaels said it. Father Time catches up to everyone. It's happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
Villain, what you think?
I thought the match was good. I like Kaz. It's just, he's older now too, man. Like, it sucks. He's been in the business over 20 years. And I don't mind Jericho fighting anybody on AEW's roster because it's like the first time he fights any of them. This is the first time he's ever been in the ring with Kaz. But yeah, the match I think could have been a little tighter, maybe a little shorter on time. You don't always need to have some long matches. Sometimes you can have a little quick match, which AEW doesn't really do. The whole thing with everybody outside the ring, I don't get it. Why Ortiz and Jake Hager out there always trying to interfere but not succeeding. And then MJF with the fucking towel, Wardlow's with him, whatever. And then Sammy comes out and takes the towel, but that's the only time Jericho sees it. But then it didn't really come into play at the end. He hit the Judas effect, got the 1, 2, 3. And then, all the melee happened. And then Jericho was like the dad, he was like, he said, this shit's enough, So this was just building for next week, which I didn't mind. It wasn't really nothing special, but it's building to next week. So this was just like, the stepping stone into bigger things. So next week is what it's all about. What's going to happen with the Inner Circle. So yeah, that's it for me.
All right, Ryan, what you got?
Yeah, I mirror both JB3 and Haven's words. It didn't need to be that long. I enjoy the fact that Jericho is getting a chance to wrestle. He wants to face wrestlers. He never got the opportunity to wrestle in WWE, like he said with Kazarian. It's his first time going one-on-one with this man. So even if Jericho's not in any title picture at the time, if he still wants to use opportunities to wrestle either some of the new guys or some of the young guns, or even someone like Kazarian who has the same experience as he does, but which is never as fortunate as Jericho in certain companies. Nothing against him. But yeah, that match did drag. And especially the fact that it had 2 picture-in-picture commercials that wasn't necessary. We could have gotten 1 picture-in-picture commercial, then it comes back, and then you see the Inner Circle start coming out. And then possibly when MJF wanted to tease that, the one thing I would have changed is the moment Sammy grabbed that towel, Jericho notices that and he accuses Sammy instead of him just looking at them. That way, when they do that pull apart after the match is over, and he could be throwing most of his ire at Sammy Guevara instead of MJF, because it could be Jericho at the moment. He's just, because MJF is new, or because we all know that build. He likes MJF, and because Sammy has not been vocal about his displeasure of him. Jericho almost seemed as if Sammy was trying to cause a divide. But even then, I think Jericho would have had more fire in that little ultimatum he was teasing. He's going to tease next week, rather if the Inner Circle is going to break up or not.
All right, moving on, gentlemen. We had to have our women's match tonight, which in my opinion was really good, except for one botched super kick. We had Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, taking on Layla Hirsch. Holy fuck, Layla Hirsch is like
legit.
Yeah, legit.
Fuck. She reminds me of the women's version of Chad Gable, and it's so great. Like, she's little, but she kind of reminds me of John Silver. Like, little, but just like yoked and can go. Like, besides that one pull super kick Britt Baker had, I loved this match. This was great. I loved what comes afterward. I think Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker could those two on the mic could smash it, and then they could have a 5-star classic at Revolution. Ryan, what do you think?
Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa. But I will get to her later. Legit Layla Hirsch, yeah. Whatever people's opinions on her matches on Dynamite and Dark, nothing can't be said that this woman can wrestle. She can go in the ring. She uses her background in I forgot what it was. Like, I forgot what accomplishment she has, but mat wrestling. I mean, she's a great mat wrestler, despite her size. She is a good power lifter when it comes with her doing suplexes. And I love the back and forth between the two of them, with Britt Baker not taking her seriously, playing up that heel character. It's not until Layla Hirsch gets her on her ass more than on one occasion, Britt starts to get serious. And even then, she doesn't turn up the voltage until Layla gets her in that arm break not arm breaker. My God, the arm bar. Yeah, the arm bar.
Yeah, the arm bar.
Yeah, once Layla gets that arm bar on Britt, you do see a change at that moment, because every time when Britt wanted to do that lockjaw, she's always signaling for a glove. Not this time. She went barehanded into Layla, because it shows that Britt wanted to make this hurt. I mean, depending on how you want to sell that mandible claw when she uses that submission move. But even then, I still like Britt. She's coming very good into her character as a heel. Rebel is really double downing as her goon, her henchwoman, and the fact Thunder Rosa attacks her afterwards. Doesn't even wait. She doesn't even wait for her to take that hold off. The moment that bell rings, you see right who jumps from the announcers and straight to her is the badass Thunder Rosa herself. And I love the pull apart too. It takes 6 guys it takes over 12 people to keep these 2 women apart. I love that. Normally it doesn't work a lot for me, but I loved it.
All righty, Mr. Villain, what you thinking?
Yeah, Matty, you said something right before the segment that I disagree with because nobody's thinking about no damn Chad Gable. You know, I like Leela Hirsch. We already seen her twice, but the first time we seen her was on Dark, where she fought.
Yeah.
She fought on Dark, and she fought against Sheeta, the champion. And then the next time we seen her, it was literally back-to-back days. Then we seen her on Dynamite, and she fought Thunder Rosa, who was the champion. You know,
no,
so I don't know if the announce team brought it up. Was that right?
I thought it was Serena Deeb.
It's both.
No, you're right. I think it was Serena.
Oh, you're right. I'm so sorry.
Well,
it was both.
I myself.
It was Thunder Rosa. Yeah, because Serena Deeb just won the title. You know, I don't think it was Serena Deeb because she's only had one match on Dynamite, and that was against well, maybe I don't know, but she's had a match on Dynamite before. So, but I think, man, this chick, Leela Hirsch, I think she should be teamed up with Mero. Like they're missing a huge opportunity right now because he used to be booked from Russia. She's booked from Russia. I know he's Bulgarian now, but I think them two together, their stature, their size, like I don't know why she was the face in this match. Like if you just look at this match from, you know, just turn the channel on and you see these two women wrestling, you think the little chick is the villain because she is jacked. And you're like, if you just turn it on, you're like, holy shit, this little chick's gonna fuck this tall chick up. But yeah, the match was good, great back and forth. You know, they're building their women's division up. I know some people on here that ain't on here right now be talking shit about the AEW's women's division. I always steadfast that I think the division is great. They just need more time for these women. And hey, this is another piece to the division. I like Thunder Rosa showing up right at the very, like as soon as the match ended, she was in the ring. I like the pull apart. I like Reba getting involved. I like Leela hitting fucking Reba with the fucking suplex. You know, at the end, this shit was tight, man. I wouldn't even mind seeing a tag team match. You know, next week, 2-on-2. You know, I could see them doing something like that. So yeah, this shit was thumbs up.
Alrighty, JB3, bring us home.
Yeah, not much more to put on to the top of what they said. They said a lot about the match in general, and I agree with a lot, especially, you know, with Layla. Like, and I'm pretty sure it was both. It was Dark against Sheeta and Dynamite against Thunder Rosa, or I think she did both. Don't matter. Regardless of anything, she is an absolute beast. Like that's the one thing I got to give AEW credit for, is because a lot of times when these beasts come in to do a match with one of the wrestlers, WWE will not give them the opportunity to showcase all of their skills. AEW, they give, like, just like with Serena Deeb, they're giving these girls that a lot of people don't know who they are. You know, yeah, a lot of wrestling heads will know, but a lot of casual fans, they won't know. And then when they see them wrestle, they're like, oh shit. And then they find out, they're a legend. Oh, that makes sense. What am I missing? And that's when the wrestling starts. See, and AEW is providing that. That's what makes me happy, because this chick, just like Serena Deeb, is coming in and she's just showing out, and she's getting the opportunity to show out. You know, and then they got Thunder Rosa coming in, and Britt Baker. And Britt Baker's a big name. Britt Baker is a big name, like, for AEW, and I'm glad she's back. So being able to look who she's been in the ring with so far. Leela. Like, they've done that for a reason. Serena Deeb, are we going to see Serena Deeb versus Leela for the NWA championship?
Could be.
I don't know. But all I'm saying is that it's finally this is the type of stuff. The Serena Deeb, Leela Hirsch, the NWA Women's Championship with Thunder Rosa. This is the type of stuff. Britt Baker coming back. This is the type of stuff that the women's division in AEW needs. I think TK might have been like, we can't do it on our own. We got problems. We need to get get these other girls in here. And man, so I'm gonna call it now. I really want to see I want to see a 4-way. I want to see Deeb, Hirsch, Thunder Rosa, and Sheeta.
All right,
I wouldn't say no to that.
gentlemen. Moving on to our second to last match of the night, we had Cody Rhodes and TNT champion Darby Allin taking on Powerhouse Hobbs, which I gotta say, that is a cool fucking Taz name right there. Like, that sounds like some shit Taz pulled out of his ass. And then Ricky Starks. This was a good match. I expected the heels to win, but after what happened, it makes sense. I want to talk about the finish real quick. The crossroads into the coffin drop, that was so cool. That played out really well.
All right, come on. Hey, before you go, let's just talk about the match and then bring it back to the end.
I got you.
So we don't be all up here for 15 minutes talking about all this shit.
All right. I liked Powerhouse Hobbs. That they're gonna strap a rocket to that man's ass, and he going fuck Cameron Grimes. He's going to the moon. Will Hobbs is just he's a shining star. Like, he's a star in the making. He's gonna be AEW's like homegrown star, and I can't say enough about him. Like, he's really come a long way. Like, when he was kind of doing the squash matches, as WWE puts it, the enhancement talent on Dark, he was really good. But lately, he's just come out of nowhere. He fits in with Taz really well. JB3, what'd you think of the match itself?
To be honest with you, I wasn't excited for it at first because I've been seeing a lot of these. But, that I think those are the times when these types of matches and the type of wrestlers that are in them shine through, because I actually enjoyed the match a lot. I agree. Powerhouse Hobbs is a cool name. I like it a lot. Cody and Darby showing the chemistry together, almost thinking that they could possibly be a tag team in the future. Like, that was a little seed planted, I think, with the coffin drop after the crossroads, which is kind of weird how those two finisher names connect with each other. Coffin drop and crossroads. That seems like that they kind of connect in a way for me. Maybe it's because I watch Supernatural. Ryan knows what I'm talking about. But
I know what you're talking about.
I didn't know he watched that show too. But yeah, the match was good, and it shows that as much as I don't want to admit it, they can put together good tag matches that aren't necessarily with tag teams, which is kind of odd to say because a lot of times we complain, we want tag teams, but then AEW puts these random people in a tag match and they do well. Tandem tag moves too. That's the one thing that I like about New Japan. I know this is kind of strange, and I don't want to get Ryan on a tangent either, but they can have random people in tag match do tandem tag moves still. Like, that's what I like. So it's cool. I liked it.
All right, Ryan, go ahead.
Actually, I want to keep this simple so we can talk about one of the big moments that happened. So this match, I definitely enjoyed it. We got to see Powerhouse Hobbs really go at it. I mean, of course, because of certain situations, Hobbs, when he was, aligning himself with Moxley, going up against Team Taz, and at the time of the alliance of Team Taz and Lance Archer, I was expecting some big things with him. And then after the FTW Championship, I thought they keep going, but the last appearance he's kept making, of course, he was doing great on Dark, but even then, saw him get to use his full abilities in this match. Him dominating Darby Allin throughout that match. Darby doing, of course, what he does best, taking the hits, but still showing his resilience. Cody wasn't as much of a heelish dick as he normally is, which is a good sign. All in all, I did enjoy this match. I think the right team did win here because last week Team Taz won. But this time, the difference is without Brian Cage, we are seeing a bit of a slight difference in who Taz wants to pair up with each other. Maybe the next time we see a Team Taz match, it's going to be Cage and Powerhouse Hobbs versus somebody, and we'll see how that coalition works. So I'm liking the different combinations we're getting.
All right, villain, bring us home.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's so crazy how AEW could do this because AEW already has like 20 established tag teams. So when they slap two teams together in a tag team match, you're kind of like, why? What's the point, man? Yeah, they're beefing a little bit, but it's like we're not near a pay-per-view yet. Usually in WWE, when two guys team up against two other guys, it's the fucking week, right? It's the week leading into pay-per-view. But AEW does it, and you're like, okay, because Ricky Starks is amazing, but he's 15-2 in singles, but all his matches are on Dark. I watch Dark all the time, so he's kicking ass on Dark, so we don't see him a lot on Dynamite. And Will Hobbs, this is his second match on Dynamite. Now that he's on the roster, most of his wins come from Dark. So seeing these two guys together, I'm like, oh shit, all right, two guys that could be the future. And then a third guy, Darby Allin. So the match was good. I'm glad that Cody kind of was always on the outside waiting to get tagged. The in-ring stuff was good. Powerhouse showed he's a powerhouse. Ricky Starks knows, how to play for the camera. Like, that dude is off the chain. Like, you should, if people watching, go back and start checking out AEW Unrestricted and see these people talk like regular human beings, and you'll like them so much more. Like, it's like you hear them talking in their journey to get to the shit, and you're always like, fuck, now I'm a fan. And Ricky Starks is so cool, man. And yeah, the match was great. Dustin Rhodes didn't really do much outside, so whatever. Taz, he didn't really do much outside, so whatever. But yeah, the match was good. I liked it, how JB3 said the combo at the end. You hit him with the crossroad, coffin drop, 1, 2, 3. Ricky Starks, man, this is only his third loss. And, the first two losses were to Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin. And his third loss is to them as a tag team. So, hey, not too bad.
All
good
right.
Match.
Now, I will set up the scene. The Team Taz swarms, everybody starts whooping ass. Out comes Dustin Rhodes. Then Mr. Arn Anderson gets fucked up, and back to commentary. Commentary sold that like he was dead, man. Like he's like, oh my god, I feel so bad for Arn. Oh my god, and then the lights
came out.
Oh, thank you. Dustin Rhodes came out, and then Brian Cage came out, and Brian Cage just fucking cleared house like he always does. The Machine. Taz is in there calling all the spots, which I think was exactly what it should have been.
And he told him, he said, pick Cody up.
He did. I heard that.
Yep.
Pick Cody up. And then they're picking up Cody. And then all of a sudden, the lights go out. And the snow starts to fall. And this really cool promo starts coming on. This winter is coming. Guys, this shit has been in front of our faces the whole time. They have teased this shit. Winter has coming. The Night King has arrived. And it is the Icon. Sting.
Yep. Woo! Wow.
Woo!
Man.
Guys, we've been talking about this for a while now. We've been talking about, winter's coming. They I can't believe this didn't get out. Most things come out, you get reports of, so-and-so has been behind the scenes. This person might be coming out like Edge or even at the Royal Rumble, MVP, they had the picture of his Titantron going off. And apparently, 3/4 of the AEW stars did not know Sting was signed. And they kept it a secret. Only a handful of people knew he was there. He comes out. He pulls out his jacket. And the bat. I mean, he pulled that bat out like a fucking beast. I don't care. He didn't say a word. He just walked up. Got Arn's face like, motherfucker, I remember you. Walked over to Cody, just shot bullets at Cody. Walked over, got in Darby Allin's face, did his call, and walked off. Fuck, it felt like 2001 again. Like I felt like I did when I was 10 years old, when I was Caleb's age, watching wrestling during the hype of the Monday Night Wars. I may have, popped off my. I was laying with the kid in bed, and we were watching it before he went to bed last night, and I may or may not have popped off. Fuck. I don't care who goes next. Like I want to cry a little bit. It was so like
I'll go.
unexpected. Every year, every year when a pay-per-view comes, we're like, do you think we'll see Sting? Do you think we'll see Sting? And this time, it didn't even cross our minds. Like look at the beauty of that. JB3, you said you want to talk first. Go ahead, then Bill and
I won't be long.
Us out.
So I won't be long. I just kind of bring up something because, yes, the promo itself was great. Like the music, and the entrance, the snow, the lights. And I'm sorry to do this to you, Matty, but to me it wasn't 2001. To me it was 1997 again. Like that's the Sting that I seen. The TNT Sting, the Sting that was up in the Raptors. Now, the one thing I want to focus on, and it's the only thing I really want to focus on, is when you were talking about when he stepped into the ring, he pulled out the bat. Now, people might want to ask, oh, Sting's here. Why would Taz's team run? Well, 1997 Sting, like I mentioned in the group chat earlier, would drop in, not take out about 30 people, 30 members of the NWO with clotheslines, punches, back fists, and bat shots to the gut, not take one single bump, and then leave. That's what Sting did. So Taz and them knew that. They're like, we're out. They did that to 30 of them. They ain't doing that to 4 of us. Like, we're gone. So that made sense to me. I don't know, some people, I don't even know if anybody can play. People are just really happy, but he steps into the ring. Now, this is the big part. He goes up to Arn, and the commentators did, and I like how the commentators, they narrated every scenario for everybody. He steps up to Arn. They haven't really been good, seen eye to eye for years. He got in his face, and he said, okay. And then he goes and he looks at Dustin. Now, 2 things. He goes from oldest to youngest. He goes to Dustin, and he sees him laying down, and he says, it's almost like, he's like, don't worry. Like, everything's going to be all right now. And then he goes to Cody, and they mention that it's Cody's favorite wrestler, and he gets down on his knee, and he looks at Cody, and Cody's looking at him, and they lock eyes, and they mention that they lock eyes. He's like, he's locked eyes with him right now. And he was basically saying, like, I know that I'm your hero. And I think he was, like, telling him with his eyes, but I'm not here for you. And then he stands up, and he turns around, and he goes to the corner, and Darby gets up shaking. And he gets right in his face, and he just looks at him. He just goes this way, and then he goes this way, and he's looking dead into his soul, if you will. And he stayed there longer than anything else. And I think that was, in my mind, he was like, you're who I'm here for. You're who I'm here for. I don't know in what capacity. I don't know if it's going to be a manager, if he's going to be anything. All I know is that there's already been a connection with the way that Darby sits up in the rafters like Sting used to. So I think Sting chose him. That's what I think happened. And I think that the reason he went to Cody, and it was oldest to youngest, because it was like, I'm here, I'm sorry, I'm not here for you, but let me go talk to who I'm here for. Or not talk to, but maybe he did talk to him in his own way. I don't know.
All right, Villain, you up.
All right. Yeah, man. Yo, you know what's crazy, man? 2 months ago, everybody's speculating. Oh, man, Sting is going to come. You know, all the fucking Facebook groups, all the dirt sheets, all the websites. Oh, Sting's going to come. He's going to manage Darby Allin. Then we don't hear nothing, you know. And like JB3 said, AEW has been so great at not spoiling shit. And you wonder why. Like, how come we don't hear about this stuff like we usually hear when it comes to fucking WWE? It's always spoiled. Because WWE's employees, you know, they want that fucking extra paycheck, so they snitch and they go fucking tattletale to get a little rub from the dirt sheets, you know, get a little couple bucks. But in AEW, we ain't hearing shit. So this is like, you know, it's like, okay, Sting's out of our mind now. Before it was like, okay, Sting's coming. Nope, okay, he's not. Forget about him. Winter is coming. You're thinking, okay, that's just for the main event. Moxley versus Kenny Omega. Oh shit, winter is coming. They're gonna build this like a little pay-per-view and now all these other matches. Okay. And then, you know, we're getting the beatdown. Brian Cage comes out with the FTW championship. Taz directing traffic. And then the lights go out. Not too long, which was good. Crowd is there. The only thing there's only two things I'm disappointed at. They're in Florida. If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers could have mad fans in the stands, Daily's Place needs to open that shit up. Just keep the fans 100 feet from the wrestlers and fill that whole fucking building up. I don't give a fuck how many fans get COVID, as long as the wrestlers don't. Fill that shit up. You're in Florida. Fill that shit up. Because, man, so we get, you know, they go right to the Titantron, and you see the winter is coming, and you're like, oh, okay. And even at that moment, I'm just like, I'm not thinking of a debut. And then you see the snow. I'm like, okay, Game of Thrones and shit. And then I see the Crow, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. No, it can't be. And then it just shows the name show up, Sting. And as soon as the name showed up, boom, he comes right out of the tunnel. It was fucking timed so well. It wasn't like delayed. It wasn't like, as soon as the name, they go, boom, he's coming right out. Perfect. Boom. That the only second nitpick I have is he should have dyed his hair. You know, that's the only thing. You know, it's like, dye your hair black, brother. You know, but man, this guy comes out. And you know what? JB3 said it. You know, Team Taz booked it out of there because, you know, when you're a regular human being and you're just working, you know, you're outside in the garden and shit, you know, you got the wall, you know, protecting you, and then you see a fucking Titan for the first time, you haul ass. And that's what they seen. Sting comes out that fucking entranceway. He's a fucking Titan. And that's why you didn't see none of the Taz people there, because they can't do shit to Sting. They're fucking pups compared to the big dog. You know, he is you know, so Sting comes to the ring, you know, he looks at Arn Anderson and Tony Schiavone. He did an amazing job. I love Tony Schiavone. That dude was killing it in commentary. You know, he made it sound like he didn't know. You know, it's good that if wrestlers didn't know, you want that like, oh shit. And they showed the crowd. They went to the crowd. You seen the crowd all hyped up. And, you know, and all the fucking marks out there talking shit. You know, AEW, a 61-year-old guy comes out, everybody's all hyped up. Yeah, we're fucking hyped up because it's fucking Sting, you idiots. It's a fucking legend. It's a fucking Mount Rushmore. You know, it's not, they're paying some old WWE guy. No, motherfucker. He was a legend for 20 years before he went to WWE, and he was only there for 2 fucking matches. He only had 2 fucking matches in WWE, and his time there was shit because they didn't know how to use him. They didn't know how to use an icon. So, yeah, we're hyped up that we see Sting, you know, because when Sting was in TNA, he was busting ass. No matter what he did, he put 100% in it in TNA, and he always put on good matches. People could knock that shit. People could fucking, Sting. Yeah, go suck a dick, because Sting is fucking one of the greatest of all time. You know, he was able to wrestle longer than fucking Ric Flair, better matches, Hulk Hogan, better matches. Sting is the man. You know, and to see him out there and to see him look at Arn Anderson, you know, you seen the thing. The only thing I wish he would have did when he got to Dusty Rhodes, because I think he might have had a match with Dusty Rhodes. This was back in the day for the television championship when he was going by the Natural. You know, Sting went there like JB3 said. He looked at Dustin Rhodes. I just wish he would have pissed on him, man, when he was on the floor like that. When he was on the corner, you know, Sting should have just pissed in his face and then walked up to Cody and smacked Cody in the face. You know, he went to his knee, looked at Cody in the eyes, then he got up and he went to the 4th and final corner where they have the new young guy, the young lion, the new TNT champion, Darby Allin. Darby Allin, he grabs one rope, he grabs the other rope, and he gets up because he's like, no, I'm going to face you like a man and look at you. And man, Sting at that moment, the camera angle, he looked like Michael Myers, bro. The way he just looked, and he just turned his face, especially with the hair now. You know how his hair is? And then the face paint. I was like, yo. And then he just turns in the middle. Woo! I think he's going to come in for life. I think, I can't wait for him to talk next week, man. Sting is a great asset. And for all the people shitting on WWE or shitting on AEW, oh, they got some old guy. No, Sting is somebody to be respected. And they did a big service to him, gave him a banging ass shirt. The shirt was fucking off the chain. The shirt sold crazy in 24 hours. Big ups to Sting. He is the man, and he's a great human being. First and foremost, you never heard no disrespectful shit from Sting. He is a true wrestling person. He loves his business, and he treats it with 100% respect. I love Sting. Thank you.
All right, Ryan, go ahead. I just want to leave that up there and just that is probably the most beautiful thing I've seen all week right there. Oh God.
Hell yes.
But Tony Schiavone, real quick while Ryan gets his thoughts again. Tony, that instinct was perfect. Like it was so well timed. Okay, go ahead, Ryan.
No, I love the fact that you're putting that together. Look, there's nothing more I can add that Haven and JB3 had not done, but oh God, that debut was everything. Yes, Sting. To some people who may not know Sting, or some who are just gonna say, "Oh, it was just some 60-year-old dude out there just walking, being intimidating, badass." Okay, yeah, but we watched that again. Everything. I mean, I'm not gonna break down even more than Haven just did, from the blackout of the lights, the video playing, the nice subtle theme music of that guitar riff going on. Then add on to the commentators. The moment his name pops up, Tony Schiavone selling Sting as if someone had just come back from the dead. Okay, that builds up. And let's not forget, there is a crowd. I know Haven wants a full crowd there, but even in the crowd that we got, still pop. The same crowd that popped when when Judas was playing, doing the sing along to Judas for Jericho. This is the same number of people that lost their shit when Sting showed up. And I am definitely looking forward to seeing what Sting is going to do. And judging back on Sting, yes, Haven is correct. Sting, when he went to TNA, he wasn't there like most wrestlers of the past, just going there to relive their glory days. He was there to help build something, which is why he had such great rivalries with Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, Christian Cage, AJ Styles. Those are the rare times in TNA where some of the times his heel runs looked like they were going to work, but it was because of Sting. They didn't really. I mean, TNA actually made a heel Sting better than the WCW did before Sting was the whole face paint and all that. And the less I want to talk about his WWE run, the better. We all know how they fucked it up.
Let's not bring that up.
That's why I said the less I want to talk about, the better. But even then with AEW, I believe Sting, he's going to have a role the same as Taz, the same as Tully, the same as Arn. He's going to be someone, he's not going to have a lot of appearances, but he's going to be someone, the moment you see him on screen, you're going to be curious as to what he's going to do. And the moment he actually cuts his promo, I am looking forward to it. I don't give a damn if I got to run to a store, buy myself some popcorn, heat that shit up, and grab myself a beer just so I can enjoy every minute of it. I'm looking forward to when Sting cuts his promo. Hell, I won't be surprised the next couple of weeks he's going to be silent. And then maybe at the end of the year he talks.
No, they've already said that him and Tony Schiavone have an interview lined up for next week.
I know. I read that, but
wait. And
according
according to Dave Meltzer, he is going to be a regular figure on AEW TV. They haven't said if he's going to wrestle or not. That hasn't. I don't care if he fucking wrestles or not. Let him come out, clock heads with that bat, and walk away. I don't give a fuck. Sting is back on TV. Like I don't know what else to say. But we've got one more match to discuss, and oh god, this was banging too. The AEW World Championship, John Moxley took on Kenny Omega. This match started out weird. It was really slow and methodical till like the last 10 minutes when Kenny Omega went V trigger crazy. I mean, just V trigger, V trigger, V trigger, V trigger. And then Kenny Omega is officially heel. He has taken that AEW championship and ran to Impact. Villain, what you want to talk about?
Oh, I thought you were gonna go to Ryan first because you went to me. All right, yeah. The match started. The match started more gentleman-like, especially with the bad blood they had. It kind of started, no shenanigans. I thought they would have went to it, especially with John Moxley, getting jumped, laid out. But yeah, the match started just kind of regular. Then it started amping up, so it kind of had the flow of going to different type of vibes in the match. They tried to keep it clean. They weren't doing no crazy shit until near the very end, and that's where the story really picked up, was at the end, the last couple minutes where you started being like, hey, what the hell's going on? And they did it very, very well. AEW did it very well. John Moxley took him outside, fucking did the paradigm shift into the heaters that they had out there. And then, the announce team sold it really well. The refs coming out. That kind of was weird when all the refs had to come out because usually, you just need one ref to be like, oh, shit, this guy's hurt, but, bring a doctor out. But when all the refs came out, I was kind of like, what the I thought they were going to end on some bullshit like technicality, like, oh, the match is over. Yeah. But, then John Moxley kind of said, fuck this shit. He said, I don't care if this guy's hurt in real life. I'm bringing him in the win because I'm bringing him in the ring and I want to beat the shit out of him to fucking keep my title, which, hey, I would have did the same thing if I had the title. Don Callis comes off the announce table, comes up, gets a mic. And at first the mic don't seem like it's working. Then he talks in it. And this was really good storytelling because, he went and grabbed John Moxley like, hey, man, like, yo, chill out. He's hurt. John Moxley turned around and said, don't touch me, bitch. Push him to the ground. He falls. And this is real cool because the ref is looking at Mox. And you don't even see it because Kenny Omega is so close that it kind of seems like Don Callis kind of just hand them the mic, not even – it wasn't like throwing over like telltale. It was kind of like as soon as he fell down – his arm, where am I? Where am I at? Oh, yeah, I'll go this way. So, as soon as he falls, he got the mic. But Kenny Omega's in the ring, fell too. So, boom, he gets up, and this is where Kenny Omega went sneaky. Hits him, bam, right in the face with the microphone. Blood starts coming. 4 V-triggers, 4 of them. Different places, too, which was cool. The last one, when he was on the turnbuckle backwards, that shit was tight. Hit him with the one-wing angel, and then the story just rapidly, just boom, boom. He gets up, he hauls ass out the ring with Don Callis. No celebrating, no pyro, no Justin Roberts announcing, and you're new. It was like, oh, got the belt, let's get the fuck out of here. And we seen them traveling to the back. They get into the same SUV that he got in after he beat Hangman Page. And that's what you got to think about. Kenny Omega loves to tell a long story, and wrestling fans ain't used to that because WWE 2-3 weeks, story's over. So ever since he fought Kenny, Don Callis was there. He beat Hangman. Don Callis was on commentary. He left, got into a black SUV. So we're thinking, okay, that might have dropped. He wins this match, gets the belt, jumps into SUV. Don Callis says, oh, you'll hear Kenny Omega talk next Tuesday. Alex says, wait. We're not on Wednesdays.
Dynamite's on Wednesdays.
Impact Wrestling Tuesday night. And then they drive off, and you hear fucking Jim Ross. I think, it was Shivani. It was Shivani and Jim Ross. You're like, that son of a bitch. This was
I think it was Shivani because he's had some good ones. One thing we forgot to know is that in the Britt Baker match, after the whole thing was over, that little under his breath, he said, "What a bitch."
Yeah.
And it's
All right,
it's
who's
kind
there
of
next,
crazy.
man? I give this 5 stars just because the storytelling alone, the way the shit happened. This shit was cool as shit. You know, Kenny Omega is finally a champion again, a heavyweight champion. You know, so we got to see where it goes. But yeah, this is, you know, I would talk more, but I know the other guys want to talk because I know, you know what? Fuck, I'm gonna talk a little bit more. I ain't gonna disrespect those guys, man. You know what? I love what's going on here in wrestling. You know, a lot of people could shit on it online because they're WWE marks, but man, if Tony Khan, you build a new company and you're like, man, WWE's been killing everybody for years and years and years. What has to change? Maybe all of us need to come together and build something, weave something together. Not every week because you have your own stars, but man, sometimes you got to reach out and do stuff. ROH did that with New Japan, and they were successful. You know, you've seen Impact did that when they did the when they used to do the international stuff with a lot of the Mexican wrestlers, a lot of the British wrestlers, and sometimes you got to do that, man. And this year right here, hey, I don't mind this at all, man. They're not, to me, this is a smart move. You know, they already did it step one when they came with the NWA Women's Champion. Now we're going to see Kenny Omega on Impact. And that's just showing people like, hey, man, there's other stuff out there. Give them love. But, hey, we're the big dogs now. And these are the other companies that you could bring up, too. This was a smart business. This was cool, man. This was some shit that I'm happy to see, man. This was cool. That's it.
Alrighty. Which one of y'all gents want to go next?
I'll go.
Okay.
So I won't be long. This was really, really awesome. Obviously, like Villain just said, go figure that we can have Sting and then still like be like, what the fuck at the end of the show. So it's really, really cool. Villain, the crazy thing is, he said when he was given the breakdown, he mentioned about Justin Roberts not doing the announcement. He actually did, but it was all juffled and muffled. Like he lost his, and I think they meant to do that on purpose because I think it was meant to like be like that wasn't supposed to happen. And maybe my theory is like the screw where it's a worked screw job, not a real screw job, basically. But I think it's where he got hit into the heaters, and I think he was supposed to be hurt. And then Moxley was like, "No, bring him back into the ring." Like there was, and then I think Don Callis was the not supposed to happen part. Jacksonville Screwjob. Yeah, and I rewatched it. I had to see because I didn't see it at first, but I rewatched it, and yeah, Don Callis threw him the microphone when he got knocked down. Like Villain said, he kind of like he threw it, and Kenny grabbed it, and that's when Kenny was like, "Bop." But yeah, and they ran out. I'm glad that they finally did this. This is something that's needed to happen in wrestling for a long time, I think. Like, and it couldn't happen in any other era than right now. Because when WCW was going on TNT, the other national channel, when they were going, it was just them and WWE. And they were warring with each other, the Monday Night Wars, everybody knows. After that, TNA, ROH, those guys, they never really got there. You know, they were like on Spike and on a few other channels and this and that, but they were never like on a big channel. They weren't on TNT for sure. And so it, you know, even if they worked with, if TNA worked with ROH or they worked with New Japan, or in which they did, it was cool, but it wasn't necessarily that big thing because everybody's like, well, WWE don't do it. But now you got AEW, who is proving that they're on TNT. That's, you know, it's a big channel. They're doing big things, and yeah, they're not put up against Raw or SmackDown, but they're put up against, you know, like NXT or whatever. But still, like they're destroying NXT. In my opinion, it's better than Raw and SmackDown combined. That's besides the point. But the fact is that, you know, it started with like the NWA Women's Championship, and then Don Callis showing up. Like they started just mentioning Impact and mentioning NWA, and they're just working here and there, and then all of a sudden you got this big thing happening now, and it's going to be counter programming. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like, look at the success of the MCU. Look at the success of Arrowverse. The crossovers in that world. You know, you could do so many things. You know, you got the AEW World Champion showing up on Impact now. It's what CM Punk wanted to do in the WWE when he took the belt and left. But they wouldn't allow that. Now AEW is doing it, and it's Kenny Omega is so cool. Like it's a breath of fresh air, and it's something I've been wanting for a long time. And I think that you're just throwing a live grenade right into wrestling, and now you have so many opportunities because not only can you have people showing up on other programming and other kinds of matches, and I get it, yeah, Impact's been taped all the way through the year, and they're only going to cut maybe some video promos or whatever. Okay, sure. Fine. That's fine. But it doesn't mean that they're not going to work together. And it doesn't mean that they might not set up some super show where AEW and ROH and Impact and NWA can all have a big super show and have all their talent go up against each other. And I think that's where you can get, that's where they're making wrestling different. And now Triple H, we'd be open to work. It just, this and that. Basically, he says, we're looking in 10 years from now. No, basically, we know what you're looking for. We don't have to mention it. But that's exciting because AEW is going to show them how successful it can be. And then it's very possible that we're going to get some really, really good wrestling in America for the next 5 or 10 years. It's going to be great. And that's it.
Well, I guess it's on me now. I do want to start off. This match was definitely fun. The slow, methodical approach that Moxley and Omega did by just feeling each other out, throwing themselves outside. I will admit it is a bit of a slow drag, but given the fact that the last time these two squared in the ring was in an unsanctioned match where all they did was immediately just try to beat the hell out of each other. I like the fact that in this wrestling match, they're treating it as an actual athletic competition between the two of them. They're trying to not rush into it because Kenny has seen Mox has been undefeated. Mox knows Kenny is trying to get back to being the bout machine. So it's just all about who can outdo the other one. Who's gonna go all out first. So which is why I liked throughout before the first picture-in-picture, it was Mox and Omega just going slow, warming it up, starting the best explained in the Dragon Ball. With Dragon Ball Z, you start off small before you go big. And when they went big with Mox and Omega exchanging blow for blow. Kenny with his V-triggers, Mox using his clotheslines. Of course, when Mox brought out the chairs and just told Kenny to sit down and hit me, that is when the voltage was turned up. That is when it 100%. And even then, I understand. I even did not like the fact that Mox does the paradigm shift to Kenny. Everyone thinks, what the hell's up with these refs? Like there was one Twitter joke I saw. Is there such thing as a 50 count in AEW? I get the joke. And I understand the faults in logic there. But at the same time, they were treating as if Kenny had actually suffered some damage. But Mox's attitude throughout the entire match, Moxley not wanting to back down. He says, no, I'm not ending it like this. I'm going to end it my way. So once we got Kenny doing the dirty finish, I believe it works. Because not only does it show that Moxley, look, for real, I think Kenny is the better wrestler to Moxley. But the story that AEW has been pitching of Moxley throughout his debut in AEW, he has been the better wrestler in the ring. And Kenny had to rely on using a dirty tactic to beat him, which sets up down the road, maybe at the next Double or Nothing or at an All Out, we see Moxley and Omega 2 for the championship. I'm just saying. And quickly on the Impact. Okay, yeah, the reports could be right. He's there for a 5-minute segment. Who cares? The point is that Impact and AEW are creating a working relationship, just like what Billy Corgan is doing with AEW by having them bring Thunder Rosa, the NWA Women's Championship, to AEW. And sure, Thunder Rosa may no longer be part of AWA, or she still is. But even then, with Serena Deep being the NWA Women's Champion. There is a working relationship happening here. And we shouldn't focus on the fact that Kenny's not going to be there live. He's not going to interact with the Good Brothers. He's not going to interact with Heath Slater, Rhino, Sami Callihan, or Eric Young. It doesn't matter. What's important is that we have the setup. The seeds have been planted. Too long, people keep saying they want to see dream matches. Well, guess what? AEW is actually trying to do that. Not just give the people what they want, but to create a large community of wrestlers and within the companies, especially with the whole situation happening with COVID. We all know Ring of Honor, they're like they're barely swimming because of these constant shutdowns. They don't have the backing that AEW and WWE have. So they have to make do with what they have. Impact, if it wasn't for that TV deal with Access TV, Impact would probably be in the same boat as Ring of Honor. New Japan is starting to get back into the swing of things. So for right now, that AEW is opening their arms to NWA, to Impact. Sooner or later, this could set up again to where we could see an AEW New Japan deal. It's not about what we're getting now. It's about what we're going to get in the future. And AEW right now, while they are competing with WWE on Wednesdays, they don't care if they're losing in ratings or if they're winning or not. What's important is to continue with the product they have and how they can improve and make it better. That is how you get wrestling fans. That's how you keep getting sold out arena events. That's how your pay-per-view buy-ins are going to keep skyrocketing. That is how more synergy amongst the wrestling community and the wrestlers themselves is going to keep going and going until AEW probably has this huge mark on the industry to where WWE is finally going to have to start taking notes. And also, I predicted a while ago that Moxley and Kenny were going to fight. I didn't think Kenny was going to win, but Kenny won. I'm not upset about it, but I love it.
All right, guys. That is the end of the show. Usually, we go around the horn and say where everybody is. Everybody knows it, so I'm just going to close the show tonight like this. Ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, this was the greatest weekly TV episode of wrestling this year, if not, maybe the past decade. For everybody here at Suplex City, let's bask in the glory of the icon. Sting has returned to TV and TNT.
Woo!